Welcome, everybody, to the Boom Tube podcast. I appreciate every single one of you being here today. I, of course, am Ryan, joined, as always, with Nate.
Yo.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I am doing pretty good.
Because it's summer. Happy summer.
It is. The sun is out for the first time in months.
Yes.
Anybody that doesn't know, we're from Ohio, and it has been monsoon season this year for some reason.
Yes, yeah. The weather has not been super kind around here. It's been kind of raining just about 90% of the time. But it's looking good today, and I'll take it.
Yes.
I'll take
gorgeous.
it. Yeah, about time. Do you have any plans this summer? Vacations? Any trips? Any?
No.
Just enjoy the weather,
Just
man.
enjoy the weather.
Enjoy the weather. I know some people will probably be taking vacations. Disneyland, they raised all their prices. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yes, they raised their prices across the board for annual passes, for day-to-day passes, for each of the individual parks.
Significant hike or just
Pretty significant. I think the reports were around 25% roughly of an increase. Yeah, their parking fees increased, across the board. Now, of course, they just opened up Galaxy's Edge in California. That's now 100% open, so you don't need reservations. You don't have to be a celebrity or even a moderate YouTuber to get in there.
Yeah.
Already probably the most expensive park experience.
Yeah. At the same time, I do see them, because they're adding so much so fast with the Star Wars and now Marvel, in like 2 years?
Something
or next
like that.
year.
I'm not sure.
They're working to do a whole Marvel thing. So with all the added, they're doing a big Avatar thing, which I don't understand. But
Yeah, I feel like the iron's not super hot.
Yeah.
Don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
People must be into it. So
Yeah. But Galaxy's Edge, man, it's got to be the main reason they raised their prices. They raised their prices because they can.
Oh, yeah.
As upset as I am, I've already talked about forever how excited I am to eventually go to Disney, but I'm bummed about how expensive it will be.
Yeah.
It's a bummer. You probably won't see 100% of all the experiences unless you're willing to fork down probably a car's worth amount of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. And
but as mad as I would be, I'll still go and I'll still pay for those prices.
And that's my point. Yeah, like I still want to go to Galaxy's Edge and spend $200 to build my own lightsaber.
Yep.
I'm mad, but literally I'm proving their point. They did it because they can.
$200 and go get one.
Yes, I will too. There's a droid. One of the shops has a personalized droid. You customize it there in the shop, and they mail it to your house. They ship it to your house, and I want to say that was $25,000 for a customizable droid. I don't know how advanced it is. I don't know exactly what it does.
The thing better cook me dinner.
It better be a bartender.
Yeah.
It better run errands.
Yeah.
Be my Uber. Be my own personal Uber. But before we take this boom tube for a whirl, we have a residual boom from last week. Yes, we kind of have a little update of last
Resig boom.
Resig boom. Yeah, that we have from last week.
Sam
Raimi's fourth Spider-Man film being adapted into a comic book, potentially by Alex Ross, a very famous, realistic-looking artist. So a little update on that story. Turns out the very next day, actually, that post came up and it was a 3. Oh, man. Okay, so it's a countdown. A 3 shows up. Okay, so it's not Fantastic Four. And 2, and then 1 in the following days. What in the world's going to happen?
Yeah.
You don't know about this, correct?
No,
You don't know what the announcement is. Okay,
I did not pay attention to this.
Okay, so announcement day comes along. J.J. Abrams and his son, who's 20 or 21 years old, they're going to do a 5-part miniseries featuring a brand new villain. And, talk about kind of a fart.
Yeah.
Wow, you kind of led us on to this. And it ultimately came because Alex Ross had posted a painting or a drawing he did of clearly Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane being swung by Spider-Man, and it said #Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
He deleted that since. So we're not sure where that came from. But people, whether it was that adaptation or a possible reinsurgence of the Fantastic Four through a crossover, it's not happening. So, but that's just a residual boom. That's from last week.
It's a bummer.
Maybe when that comes out, we can talk about it. But I'm not going to tell you I'm going to buy it when it comes out because I don't care. I've lost interest, but I did want to update everybody on that.
We got a brand new boom.
Yeah, I got a nice little button. Do you want to give it a whirl? All right. Oh, hold on. Okay, all right, man. Here we are.
Yay.
Hey, that was relatively painless, right?
Way better than us screaming into the microphone.
It was a lot better than that, and I'm slightly queasy, but I think I'll get used to it. I think I'll get used to that.
I'm hungry at the same time.
Yeah, but we're here in the movie universe once again. Do you remember back in the day? Do you remember Space Jam?
Oh, I love me some Space Jam.
Love you some Space Jam, right? So Space Jam, they're coming out with a sequel. Looney Tunes still relevant. This time though, it's not Michael Jordan. It will be LeBron James. Similar to the same thing. Looney Tunes need help, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it was kind of a little journey I went through as I was figuring out about it, because I knew they were making this movie, but I didn't know much else aside from LeBron James.
Yep.
So apparently they're having a heck of a time getting people involved, NBA players who are not LeBron James. Yeah. And immediately, so what's kind of your gut reaction to that? Why do you think?
I don't know. I'd jump at that chance.
I know, yeah, right. I would jump at the chance. So I thought maybe it's a personal thing against LeBron. I know that they've reached out to James Harden, who's a potential MVP this year, and Steph Curry. Both of them said, no, we can't do it. For one reason or another, it was generic, like scheduling reasons or one thing. So I'm just kind of curious. I'm like, yeah, you think people would jump to be at that? It turns out it's for a much more boring and red tape reason. It's mostly because Nike has a big hand in making Space Jam.
Oh.
So if you're an NBA player with affiliation of any other company, Adidas, Under Armour, whatever it may be, they kind of can't get involved with this film.
That already makes me uninterested in that movie.
Isn't that kind of depressing? This is the world we live in, where the
paid
corporations...
promotion movie.
Yeah. The first one was, too, if you kind of think about it. There was even a little part about McDonald's, and if I believe, they were like, oh, let's get a Big Mac and a Coca-Cola and a something.
Meet you at the ball game.
Yeah, meet you at the ball game. But I just found that was very interesting and mildly depressing that, that's the kind of world we live in. Those decisions are affected by corporations and...
That's sad.
And who they choose to give money to. It's just bizarre. It's just bizarre to me. But while we're here, another little quick bite-sized thing for you. New addition to the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood stars.
Someone's getting a star.
Someone's getting a star this year.
He's not real.
He's not real. Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, yes.
Batman's famous.
Yeah, he's famous. It's official.
Now he's famous.
And now it's official. But the character Bruce Wayne will be getting his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I obviously am fine with that. Batman fan
I'm
here.
Super happy with that.
I think it's pretty cool. He's undoubtedly had an effect on Hollywood, on pop culture. I've seen plenty of times that the bat symbol is one of those symbols that you can take to any country, even a third world country.
Knows
People
Batman.
know what Batman is, and you can't deny that he's had an effect on Hollywood, even if it's just TV and not necessarily movies, but across the board, yeah. So, what do you think of that? Is that pretty cool?
Well, yeah, and that's what there is some backlash of people saying that Superman should get the star first because Clark Kent does not have a star, and he was like the first superhero, so he paved the way. And this is a Hollywood thing, and not that Christopher Reeve's Superman wasn't amazing, but it didn't change cinema the way that '89 Batman did.
I agree with you. That film made a bigger impact. You can feel effects of that today.
Oh yeah, the '90s were completely changed.
Oh, absolutely.
You look at the '80s generation of movies into the '90s generation, and I feel like Batman played a huge part in that.
I was seeing something where, how movie studios are famously about charts and about graphs, and they try to find the commonalities between success, which it's not quite a formula, but anyhow, before I get off on that kind of tangent, they had seen the success of Batman. Now, before this movie, he wasn't really popular until the 60s TV show. So when this movie became popular, it wasn't so much, superheroes or even Batman. They started looking into older properties that had since died out, like Zorro, the Phantom, Darkman, things like that. You saw a resurgence of that stuff. So Hollywood, in their brain, they thought, okay, well, people love stuff from the 40s, about that era, a little bit, ballpark.
And the Shadow.
Billy
Zane.
Billy Zane was the Phantom.
Phantom.
The Shadow was Alec Baldwin. Before we get too off track here, the Batman movie, Batman undoubtedly made a bigger impact in Hollywood than Superman. And so I think that's why you would see him on the Walk of Fame before necessarily Clark Kent. I get 100%. I get it. I do, again, appreciate and respect where people would argue Clark Kent, but I would say...
If it was for comics, I'd say 100%.
Sure.
It's for Hollywood.
In regards to Hollywood... Bruce Wayne had a bigger impact.
Batman has always had a bigger impact.
I agree. But as I said, we're not going to spend too much time here, man, because we got some other stuff to talk about.
Oh, I guess.
Let's take off. Let's go to our next stop. But
Do I get to push the button?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. All right, just get your seatbelt on.
Here we go.
I taste tinfoil.
I need to bring a doggy bag with me next time.
We're here in the TV universe. We boomed to the boob tube.
The boob tube.
Yes. First thing I want to talk about is the Tick. Remember the Tick?
Yes.
Yeah. There's
Patrick Warburton.
Patrick Warburton. He did a television series. I think it was the super early 2000. I want to say.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what it was on.
Patrick Warburton. It was on Fox.
It was on Fox. Okay.
I only remember that because I actually have that DVD. But
okay.
Yeah, the Tick live action series. There was a cartoon in the early 90s, which was great. I believe it was based on a comic, but I have never in my life seen a Tick comic to this day.
Yeah, I don't know. He was very comic book drawn.
Yes, the Tick. If you don't know, he was a parody of superheroes and comic books before it exploded to where it was now.
Yeah.
So the idea was, hey, let's. This was Amazon maybe 3 years ago. Let's bring the Tick back. Superheroes are in a different place. Let's try to tackle it again.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Now, the problem was it's still the Tick, and it still has some elements to it, but they wanted to make it like a current superhero movie, so they made it too realistic for its own good. They made that classic mistake post Dark Knight. Let's make it realistic and gritty.
Real. Yeah.
But why?
He's a parody. He shouldn't be real.
I'd be fine with it if maybe there was. And in the show, I've seen the series. There's a character who is kind of Punisher-like, and it's like, okay, maybe they'll have the grit with him, and the others can kind of still comment on him. But the show ended up still taking itself very seriously.
I don't like it.
They also made a bizarre decision in the beginning. They filmed, I think it was 10 or 12 episodes for season 1. Okay. Now, instead of releasing it, they released episode 1 through 6 and said, you know what, we'll say season 1 part 1, and next year we will release season 1 part 2. Okay, that's a little odd.
I didn't know they did that.
So they finally come out with season 1 part 2, and it was like, you're like, okay, well maybe this is it's getting really good, and it wasn't really anything. There was no reason why it couldn't have been, it wasn't anything extra or substantial that there's no reason to break it up right here. So then they finally come out with the real season 2, and that's what I have just recently watched to kind of catch up on it. Still the same thing. It's a couple jokes here, but it's ultimately they're too focused on plot. They're too focused on. It's just not a parody. It's not it doesn't feel like the Tick.
I gotta be honest. I only watched the first 2, maybe 3 episodes.
Yeah,
and I chuckled a few times.
Sure.
But that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, I loved the cartoon as a kid. It was very funny. I loved the Patrick Warburton version. But again, this one, it just wasn't that great. There were two moments that stick out to me that was kind of funny. And even then, it's like, you don't have to check out the show to see it. But in the very first episode, the pilot, they went too far with his costume. They made it too tactical. It was very skin tight. And it had a fingerprint looking texture all over it. It just looked weird. Nobody liked it. So when the second episode came out, they were like, okay, they redesigned it, and it looked a little bit more like a foamy Tick suit, but still kind of off.
Yep.
Season 2 starts, the real season 2, not season 1 part 2. How stupid! That's so stupid. It's so stupid. Season 2 starts out, he's in another brand new suit, and they acknowledge it, and he goes, I guess I'm morphine. I just thought that was kind of clever.
Well, that's good.
But the one other joke in the entire series, this I thought was kind of funny. They were talking to this character who has electric powers, so you can shock people, zap people. And this guy says, "You zapped Albert so hard he lost Tuesday," as a concept. I thought that was so funny. That line got
well
me.
Written.
But that show's gone, and again, I like the Tick as a character. If they do it again, I'll check it out.
Did they cancel it?
It is canceled. It is canceled. The creator, Ben Edlund, I believe I'm saying that correctly, he was trying to take the series that I'm just speaking of about Amazon and trying to find a new home, and nobody wants it, which I'm more than fine with. I want somebody to maybe pick up the Tick, but let's not pick up where it was. I'm not hating on anybody in the show. It's just, it wasn't great. I wouldn't recommend it personally, but... that was, of course, on Amazon. And while we're talking about Amazon shows, there's a trailer out for The Boys.
The Boys. I'm so excited.
That
for
looks
this.
pretty good. Now that was a series. That was they keep superheroes in check, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that it?
Yep. It's a group of just random dudes, don't have any powers or anything else, just kind of hard knock guys. Yeah, whenever a superhero in this world, superheroes aren't always good. There's a lot of collateral damage, and they feel they're justified in that.
Egos, a lot of egos.
Because they are saving people, that if a few people die in that process, that's just what it is, and you got to deal with it. And the Boys try and prevent that from happening, and if they can't prevent it from happening, they make sure that the superheroes get punished for it.
It looks like this show is going to be full of swears, full of violence. I'm not going to repeat any here because I want followers, and
this is a PG channel.
Yeah, this is a vaguely PG,
maybe
PG-13.
some 13 in there, but
The Boys looks very violent, a lot of swears. If that does not bother you, check out the trailer to The Boys. It's going to be on Amazon. That's actually coming out July 26th. So not that far off.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that.
I don't know if Amazon does all of their shows all at once or if they do partial episodes, but if they do it all at once, I'll binge it.
Yep.
Whatever, I'm excited to see it.
Yes.
I know that.
Babies with lasers coming out of their eyes.
Yes, the trailer ends with him holding like some superhero baby or a mutant baby that has like Cyclops' powers, and he's waving them around the room like a weapon.
Using it like a gun.
Oh my gosh. Check it out. It's good stuff. If you don't mind, again, mature rated R stuff, check it out. But speaking of television shows, there is a game show that, I'm not going to lie, I wouldn't mind being a part of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to play this game.
It's called Holy Moly.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you've seen this. I haven't seen it.
It is like American Ninja Warrior mixed with Wipeout mixed with Putt-Putt.
Okay.
That's the best way to describe it.
That sounds awesome to me.
It's amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yes.
That sounds like something I would pay a lot for like a bachelor party or a summer drunk trip.
It is stupid, and honestly, the best part of it is the commentary.
Yeah.
It is two guys sitting in jackets that say ABC Sports, and they commentate this thing like it's a PGA Pro Tour.
That's funny.
And they are so sarcastic, and it's amazing.
I definitely want to see it because that right off the bat, when you tell me the commentators are a highlight, that reminds me of like Most Extreme Elimination Challenge or Wipeout, like you had mentioned. That sounds like that'd be my jam, dude. I would love to be a part of that. That'd be pretty cool.
In the first episode, they have to go through a life-size windmill.
Yeah.
And also put their ball through a little windmill. So then they have to run through the big one, and this one woman just gets creamed by this thing. It is so good.
If everybody is perfectly safe and there's no room to get like horribly mangled, I am all about that. Let's make ragdoll physics games with humans.
With humans.
Sign the forms you got to. Do what
you can't sue us. Go have fun.
Oh my gosh, that was called Holy Moly, and I think it was on ABC, right?
Yes.
Yep. Man, that'd be great. I have to check that out.
And they win money. But they also win a horrible plaid golfing jacket.
Oh my gosh.
They win a blazer, just like in golf.
Well, let's commit to audition for it, and this will be the historical record. So when we get on there, we can be like, check out episode 2. Man, I'd love to be a part of that. So Holy Moly on ABC. I'll have to check that out.
And throwing back to the Space Jam thing.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is actually, at least on the first episode, he was in Holy Moly.
Oh.
He was like a guest dude. So I don't know if he's a recurring dude. Maybe that's why he couldn't do Space Jam.
Did he do maybe the interviews where you talk to him like, how'd you feel about that? Like, Tom?
Well, it was very tongue-in-cheek because he legit said he was the paid celebrity to be there. He was very candid about it. And he must be a good golfer because one of the holes he had to hit for somebody. And it was a full-on chip shot. It wasn't a putt shot. It was like a 50-foot gap.
Yeah.
And he got really close to the hole on his first shot. And I guess he must golf in his personal life because he's a good golfer.
That's awesome. I think and that was on one of the crazy courses. That was one of the crazy That's sweet. I love putt-putt. We recently went to a course, and I was like, the great thing about putt-putt is it's not only you can be the best or worst player. A lot of it's just skill and just the random nature of it.
A lot of it's luck.
A lot of it's luck, yeah. And
whack the ball and hope it goes somewhere.
yeah. So that's not a bad idea for a show. I kind of wish I thought of that a while ago because that'd be a nice one to take credit for.
Yeah.
One last boom I'd like to take before we do go home. I think we need to touch on some games.
Ooh, a new boom.
Yeah, a new boom. I want to go there to talk about video games. So,
yes.
I don't want to necessarily take you by surprise here, but I want to...
You dirty
dog. Well,
I was not ready for that.
That's okay, and you've lost your left shoe.
Oh, and my left foot.
We'll just have to, I guess you'll have to wait another week before we go back in your left foot.
Come and hop along, Sally.
Well, here we are now. Here in the games universe, and one thing I want to talk about is a game that was released this week that there was an announcement trailer a few months ago. I had never seen it, but I saw the release trailer this week, so I was kind of late to the game.
Yeah.
But I just had to talk about it. It's called My Friend Pedro. It's a very unique game. It's coming out. It's on PC and Switch. Actually, now it's out now. It's a very Castlevania or Metroidvania style game.
Yeah,
which is it emphasizes exploration on a platform level.
Yeah, like
revisiting areas.
Complex.
Yeah, Shadow Complex. Mm-hmm. Rogue Legacy. That's one I love. Rogue Legacy. That's a great game. But these it's one of those type games, those platform maze games.
Side scroller.
Yeah, side scroller based on Gung Fu kind of. And maybe a little bit of physics in the sense that when you fire in the air, it kind of propels you,
pushes you
in the opposite direction.
A little bit of bullet time.
Yeah, a little bullet time. But the reason why this caught my attention, the trailer focuses on great animation and bananas, oddly enough. Bananas. Sentient, apparently, talking bananas. And it's called My Friend Pedro, so check that out. It's so random. The game is probably ultimately going to be just a quick run-and-gun platforming thing, but the humor, the style of it...
Yeah, if they keep that banana peppered in there, that game will be hilarious.
Yes, and given the nature of it and the violence with the guns, I'm surprised it's on Switch and it won't be on PS4 or Xbox, but... Who knows? I mean, every now and then, Nintendo, once in a while, will do one kind of violent game.
Yeah.
So this must be their token one for now or something. But it's on PC. It doesn't look that horribly graphically complex, so I might try it on my laptop.
Yeah.
I heavily encourage you look up My Friend Pedro, the trailers. It's just great.
Yep.
Also, in the gaming news, new Star Wars game coming out.
Yes.
Jedi Fallen Order. Which, reportedly, the combat system is going to be very Dark Souls.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's going to be difficult.
Yes.
It's going to be countering, rolling, blocking, attacking. You can't button mash this guy.
Exactly.
I think that sounds awesome. Because those are the type of games you have to spend serious time in to, quote-unquote, get good.
And most Star Wars games have been very button mash. You run up with your lightsaber and just throw crap.
You could probably do, The Force Awakens, very, button mashy. But this does not look to be the case. It looks to be a bit more mature in terms of the learning curve and how the game will take you through.
Yeah.
I'm interested, too, that the main protagonist is modeled after Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah.
Who I think is great. I'm a fan.
From Gotham and, Shameless?
Shameless, Gotham, a few other things that are escaping me at the moment, but I enjoy him.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor.
And
honestly, he did a better Joker than Jared Leto, so,
Yes, yeah, he did. I did like his take. Did you end up watching the series finale?
I did not. I kind of fell off on that show, not because I didn't like it. It just, life happens, and I just lost it.
Not to get sidetracked, but just what I'm talking about with him is the show Gotham. I had watched the first couple seasons pretty faithfully. And it was one of those shows that if you lose a season, you lose a bit. Yeah. It becomes so daunting to catch up on 31 45-minute episodes.
It's a Smallville.
Yeah, it's very hard. So once I fell behind, I didn't pick up on it. The series finale came out, which takes place 10 years later, after the second to last episode. So you can... I hadn't seen the last two seasons, and I literally watched the series finale. Just to kind of see how they did some things. I recommend it.
Did it fit as a standalone, kind of?
Enough. If you literally have never seen the show, watch the series finale. It's kind of cool. It's worth checking out. Okay. But I don't want to talk too much about that. But Cameron Monaghan was Joker in that series. He's the protagonist in this game, and I think that'll be cool. I'd hate to admit that I'm kind of a sucker if you add in that extra element of.
Well, yeah, and they're bringing back. I saw in a different preview Forrest Whitaker's character from Rogue One is in it as well. So they're bringing back some good movie actors
Yes, bringing some likenesses in. You know, it's going to look like this will be a cinematic experience. Something I'll definitely sink my teeth into.
And it takes place just a little bit after Order 66 was put out, right?
That I do not know.
I do believe, because he's a Jedi in hiding.
Well, I'll check it out. It comes out in November, so I'll be picking that one up. I'll sink some hours into that guy. While we're here, one last stop before we do head home with the gaming. Electronic Arts. You were telling me about this.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about Electronic Arts?
Well, they've been court for the whole loot box is kind of gambling for kids type of thing.
Yes, and I don't think anyone could really argue against that.
It kind of is. I don't know what the ruling on that was, but they just came back out again for some type of a talk with people, and they're now saying that it's not gambling. It is surprise mechanics.
Surprise mechanics. What a spin. Surprise mechanics.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling loot boxes.
She's trying to spin loot boxes as like Kinder eggs.
Those chocolate eggs with toys in them?
With toys in them. Or like the blind bags boxes. And it's like, I can kind of agree with that to a small degree.
Yeah.
Because you are always getting something. You never open a loot box and it's like, oh, this one's empty. You lose.
Now, a lot of the times there are duplicates, which is the very same as getting nothing.
That's where I find it horribly wrong. It's not ethical because depending on how much money you spend on a loot crate depends on how much you're going to get out of it.
Sometimes, yeah.
So I would be okay with loot crates if they divvied them up. If this was a skin loot crate, or if this was a game effect loot crate, so that you could actually pick and choose what you wanted.
Yeah.
And then it was something blind and no duplicates. Once you have it, you own it, and you can never get it again.
Now with that though, I gotta admit, and call me old fashioned, but just give me the game that I paid for, and if you're gonna add a bunch of that stuff,
100%,
give me a DLC package, because even if you get it to the point, if
you
get them, if you get them in a corner where fine, you can have it, but there's no duplicates and no losing, then essentially you're eventually going to get everything, and you can no longer purchase them.
Yeah.
Which, oh my gosh, what does that sound like? That sounds like buying a pack one time
of a DLC
and just having it.
I completely agree with that.
I despise the idea of loot boxes. Packs. I despise the idea of loot boxes outright.
Oh, I do too.
And if we have to cater to making it, making the argument that it's gambling for children, I'm all for it, because I cannot stand loot boxes. I hate pay to win.
Yes.
There's a lot of games that I really don't play anymore because I'm not willing to sink money into a game.
I understand if a game is free to play, having those, because that's how they supplement their income. But yeah, like you said, if you're paying $60, and now with all these stupid complete and ultimate and absolute editions that add stupid skins that should be in the game to begin with, yet for some reason you have to pay $20 more extra.
Right.
It should all be in the game.
Absolutely, yeah. If it's something, and that's a big controversy with games, the day that it launches, if there's stuff for you to add on,
already a DLC
that should have been included in the game.
I completely agree.
But I'm sure everybody out there would agree with us, because I don't think, everybody's on the same page with this, unless you work for the corporation and you're making money. Everyone hates loot boxes. Everybody hates this stuff.
I've never heard anybody say they like loot boxes.
Yeah.
Ever.
Nobody enjoys loot boxes. Nobody enjoys this pay to win. And for them to come out and to say, oh, they're surprise mechanics, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, I like surprises, but...
Guess what else are surprise mechanics?
What?
Slot machines.
Yes, yeah, slot machines. Exactly.
That means you have an algorithm that certain things will be pushed out at certain times depending on how much you buy it.
But we won't preach to the choir. We all feel the same way about this. Surprise mechanics. I can't believe that. That's like the most PR spinny thing.
That they're quite ethical.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm not going to surprise any of you guys, because I'd like to announce that we're going to have each episode up just in time for your Monday morning. It might be super late Sunday.
Yep.
It might be super, super, super early Monday morning.
Yep.
But I want to have these up every Monday morning for you.
Try and get that Monday morning grind a little easier.
Exactly.
By listening to
or at the very least, you know that you have another one loaded in the chamber every Monday.
Our soothing voices.
But thank you again, each and one of you, for listening today. Had a lot of fun, and we will see you next week.
We got maybe one more boom to close us out.
Well, we got to go home, so
yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you later.
Bye.